Hi guys, welcome back for Shiloh chapter 11. We get to find out probably some good things in this chapter. How Shiloh's doing at the docks, maybe what Judd and Shiloh's dad Ray or Marty Shiloh's dad, Marty and Ray, Marty's dad can work out with Judd and see if they can save Shiloh and make him Marty's dog rightfully instead of taking him. Well, let's see here in chapter 11 what we get to find out. I'm excited. It's only after I lie back down on the couch that night that I realize what all I've done to Ma and Dad. For one thing, Ma's still awake. I can see the light on in the bedroom as Dad goes on down the hall. And then I hear their voices. Not all of what they say, but enough. Ray, told you I just found out about that dog myself. Secrets from me, you, and Marty? Till tomorrow. I would have told you then. Every day, the mail to Judd's place mentions the dog to me, and all the time up on my own property, me not knowing. I bring my arms against my ears and hold them there. So many things going wrong, it's hard to remember anything going right. Doc Murphy knows I've got Judd's dog now. Dad's mad at Ma, and we won't know till tomorrow if Shiloh's even going to make it. Worst of all, I brought Shiloh here to keep him from being hurt. And what that German Shepherd done to him probably worse than anything Judd Travers would have brought himself to do short of shooting him. Anyways, this time when the tears come again, I don't even fight. Don't even try holding them back. I must have slept through Dad's going off to work the next morning, 'cause when I wake, Becky's standing beside the couch eating a piece of honey toast and breathing on my face. Darla Lynn's already told her about the dog because she asked right off, "Where it at, the doggy?" I sit up and tell her the dog's at Doc Murphy's and we'll find out how he is that afternoon. Then I look in the kitchen at Ma, and there's the set look about the lips that mean trouble. That mean don't mess with her, 'cause she's already in trouble with Dad. I go outside to pick me a couple wormy peaches and sit on the stoop eating at them, spitting the wormy places out. Darla Lynn comes out and sits beside me. Today she's all kindness. Judd Travers don't take care of his dog. Marty, no wonder it come up here, she says, trying to say the right thing. I can tell she's been figuring it all out from what she could overhear between Ma and Dad and anything else Ma told her. I take another bite of peach. It wasn't like you stole them, she says. That dog just come up here on its own. Just hush up, Darla Lynn, I say, which I had no business saying. I didn't want to talk to anyone, that's all. Well, you could have told me and I wouldn't have told anyone. Thanks. Ma says we've got to give him back to Judd Travers when he's better. I get up and start toward the hill to clean up the ground where Shiloh was attacked. See if there's any way I can put some fence wire over the top of the pen to keep the shepherd out. What's his name, Marty? Darla Lynn calls after me. Shiloh, I tell her. I'm only halfway up the hill when I hear a car and turn around. It's Mrs. Howard's car, and David's in it. Soon as he sees me, he jumps out. It's still moving a little. He comes running towards me. I get to stay here today, he yells, waving a kite he's brought with him. Everyone else is going to Parkersburg, and I didn't want to go. I look over to where Ma and Mrs. Howard are talking, Ma nodding her head. I get lonely sometimes up at our house, but today I want to be with that loneliness. Don't want to talk to Darla Lynn, to Becky, to Dad, or even Ma. If we had a telephone, I'd be calling Doc Murphy every hour. As it is, I have to wait till Dad comes home from work before I can find out about Shiloh. Can't go down there pestering Doc, him with patients to see and all. What do you want to do? I asked David, trying to dig up the least little bit of enthusiasm. David and I are in the same grade, even though he's taller and heavier and looks like he's in junior high already. Try out this kite over in your meadow, he says. I lead him around the long way away from Shiloh's pen, and he doesn't even notice because he's unwrapping his kite made of silk or something, which one of his relatives must have brought him. We stand out in the meadow flying the kite, and I watch the blue and yellow and green tail whipping around in the breeze, and I'm thinking about Shiloh's tail and the way it wags. You get a dog on your mind, it seems to fill up the whole space. Everything you do reminds you of your dog. When we bring that kite down later, though, David sees a groundhog, and next thing you know, he's after it. The groundhog's zigging this way and that way, and David's yelling like crazy. I'm taking your kite back down to the house, David, I yell when I see him getting near Shiloh's pen. He goes on running and yelling, I'm going to get me a handful of soda crackers. You want to make peanut butter cracker sandwiches, I call out, trying to get him to follow. And then his yelling stops. Hey, he says. I know he's found the pen, and I walk over. What's this, David asks. He looks at the blood on the ground. Hey, what happened here? I go over and yank his arm and make him sit down. He's looking at me bug-eyed. You listen to me, David Howard, I say. Whenever I say David Howard, he knows it's serious. Only did it twice in my life. Once, when he sat on the paper flower pot I made for Ma at school, and once when he saw me with my pants down in the bathroom. That really made me mad. But today I'm not mad, I'm serious. Something awful and terrible happened in there, David, and if you ever tell anyone, even your Ma and Dad, may Jesus make you blind. That's the kind of talk my folks can't stand, but I got it from Grandma Preston herself. Ma says Jesus don't go around making anyone blind, but Grandma Preston always used it as a warning, and she went to church Sunday morning and evening both. David's eyes about to pop out of his head. What? He asks again. You know Judge Travers? He was murdered? No, but you know the way he's mean to his dogs? He killed one of his dogs in there? No, let me tell it, David. You know how he's missing a dog? Yeah. Well, it come up here on its own, and I let him stay. I built him a pen and kept him a secret. Named him Shiloh. David stares at me, then at the blood in the pen, and then back at me again. Last night, I tell him, Baker's German Shepherd jumped the fence and tore him up. We took Shiloh to Doc Murphy, and Judd don't know. David's mouth falls open and hangs there. Wow, he says again. I'll tell David how hurt Shiloh was and how we've got to wait till tonight to see how he is. And then we go in his pen together. David helps me clean up the blood, pull up all the grass with blood stains on it, and throw it over the fence into the woods. It's easier somehow with David helping, with David knowing even. If it was me by myself, I'd be thinking again and again how this would never happen if Shiloh could have got away from the shepherd. I look at David and think we're friends for life. And then I think how there are exactly 7 people now who know I have Judd Travers' dog, and it's only a matter of time before somebody lets it out. Probably Becky. She'll warble it to the first person coming up the lane. Did you ever notice how the more a little kid tries not to tell a secret, the sooner it gets out? Nothing that child can do about it. A secret is just too big for a little kid. What I didn't expect was that at 3:30, before Dad come home, here's Doc Murphy's car chugging up the lane. He's got Shiloh in the back seat, and I'm standing out by the oak tree with David, taking turns on the bag swing. When I see the car and Shiloh's head raised up in the back seat, I'm over to the car and seconds flat. Shiloh! No cry ever sounded so happy as that one that came up from my throat. All of us were crowding around the car, Ma, Darla Lynn, Becky, and David Howard, and all of us are saying, Shiloh, here, boy, and holding out our hands. Shiloh's trying to lick everything in sight. Patient recovered faster than I thought he would, Doc says, getting his big belly out from behind the steering wheel and standing up. So I figured I'd bring him on over myself. And then, to Mother, had patients coming in and out today and don't know that I wanted them to see the dog, she nodded. I'm going to pay for this, Doc Murphy, I tell him. You send the bill to Dad and he'll pay it, but then I'm paying him. Well, son, that's a generous thing to do with a dog that's not even yours, he says. Is he all well now? No, not by a long shot. Think it's going to take a couple of weeks to heal, and I can't promise you he'll walk without a limp, but I got him sewn back up, full of antibiotics. If you can keep him quiet for a few days and off that leg, I think he'll pull through just fine. And if Ma was mad at me before, she's not now. Not the way Shiloh's licking her all over both arms, getting a quick licking in her face every time she bends close. Becky's sticking her hand out for Shiloh to lick, and when he does, she squeals and pulls back. Shiloh's tail's going like crazy. It's a welcome home party. Ma has me bringing in the cardboard box from the shed, and we put an old pillow in the bottom of it, cover it with a clean sheet, and Doc Murphy lays Shiloh inside it. Shiloh seems to know he can't walk too good, because as soon as he tries to stand up, he sits back down and licks at his leg. I'm glad Shiloh's back. I'm glad he's going to get better, and that we can keep him till he's all well. But the more I sit there petting his head, feeling his happiness, the more I know I can't give him up. I won't give him up. Alright, guys, that was a pretty cool chapter. I love the ending, but I think there's some really cool pieces in there. The part about David Howard and he telling a friend, I mean, that's huge. When you get to tell someone some news that's weighing heavy on you, it can really change the way you feel about it and take a weight off of you. So that was cool that he got to share that with a friend, and then Shiloh came back. A lot of excitement. How about for this chapter, you just tell me your favorite part you heard today, because I really liked a lot of those different parts. We were really low in the beginning, and then we got so many uplifting things. We got to see him and David have a really close bond, and then we got to see Shiloh come home and bond with the family, and it looks like it's going to be hard for Ma to give up the dog. Ma's falling in love with Shiloh, so we'll see, okay? Alright, you guys have a great Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon. I miss you all. I hope everybody's doing well. See you soon. Bye, guys.